pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, could you please make the roll call?
Trustee Fialko.
Present.
Trustee Pasmino.
Present.
Trustee Reinders. Present. Trustee Consolino.
Present.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to make.
All right, she has to call.
Okay.
Trustee Rogers is absent. And then now you make the motion. And Trustee Laha is absent. Is she on the phone yet? Or?
No, Trustee Laha is going to message when she is available to log out.
Okay. And the mayor is not present either. So there is a quorum of the village board present. So now.
In absence of the mayor and the mayor pro temp, I'd like to make the motion to make our senior trustee, Trustee Pasmino, the temporary chair for this meeting.
So moved. Second.
That should be by roll call.
Wait, so Trustee Fialko, you're making the motion, correct?
Yes.
So who's second? Trustee Reinders?
I so moved and she seconded.
Well, that's three
No,
votes.
I made the motion. You second.
I second.
That's all we need. Now we need the roll.
Trustee Fialko.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Consolino.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Pasmino.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem, if I may just read into the record the notice of the special meeting.
Yes, please, thank you.
Let the record show this is a notice of a special meeting of the Village Board of Trustees. It's called for today at 4 p.m. in the Village Boardroom, 14240 West 151st Street, Homer, Glen, Illinois. The purpose of the special meeting is to consider approval of an ordinance 2213, approving an employment agreement between the Village of Homer, Glen and Carmen J. Morello III for the position of village manager. Item 2 is consideration for approval of ordinance 22-014, an ordinance authorizing the hiring of a deputy clerk. And the third item is consideration for approval of resolution 22-005, a resolution initiating the submission of a binding public question concerning the office of village clerk for the Village of Homer, Glen, Will County, Illinois, to appear on the ballot of the electors of the Village of Homer, Glen at the general election to be held June 28, 2022. That notice was dated March 24th, 2022. It was posted March 24th, 2022. It was signed by trustees Pasmino, Consolino, and Fialko, and it was delivered to each trustee on the village board with the exception of Trustee Rogers at the board meeting, at the board meeting on March 23rd of 2022. It was also delivered to the mayor at that same time and date and the village attorney. And attached to that notice is the agenda for the special village board meeting for today's, for the meeting this afternoon at 4 p.m.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so can we go to public comment? Do we have a list?
Yes.
There is nothing on public comment.
Thank you.
There's no public comment?
I just checked.
Excuse me, were you able to connect?
She's on this. Do you want to echo? I'm just going to try and see if we can do this. Nicole, can you hear us?
Can hear you.
Well, I don't know where's my speaker? Oh, where's my speaker? Where's it coming out of?
Can you hear me?
Can I just set that up real quick?
Absolutely. Sure. We can take a moment. Sure.
Sorry, thank you.
Take your time. Take your time. It's a beautiful afternoon.
We're just trying to get your audio up.
Do you need the blank public comment?
Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you. I'm not sure if we'll be able to hear you on the recording though. It's not, and the mic's not working, so.
Okay.
Enter your participant ID followed by pound. Otherwise, just press pound. Please enter your meeting password followed by pound. You entered 81882. This meeting password is invalid. please re-enter the meeting password followed by pound.
Hello.
You are in the meeting now. There are 2 participants in the meeting.
I can hear you. Very, very faintly.
I just turned it off, I muted it. Can you hear us now?
You guys are talking to me. You guys are just talking to me.
Trustee Laha, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you.
And the second participant, is that the mayor or what?
It's just me, logged in.
Thank you.
If you'd let the record show that trustee Laha is present remotely, there should be a motion to allow trustee Laha to participate remotely. Can one of you make that motion?
I'll second that.
You can vote just by voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposition? Okay. Trustee Laha, we are at the point in the agenda where public comment was called. There wasn't any, but I believe a gentleman came up and wanted to make public comment.
No, he just brought up the public comment record sheet.
Okay.
There's no one on there.
Trustee Pasmino, it's your meeting.
Thank you, sir. We'll go into legislative and action items. E1, consideration for approval of ordinance number 22-013, an ordinance approving an employment agreement between the Village of Homer Glen and Carmen J. Morella III for the position of village manager. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Was there any discussion?
Oh, I'm sorry, is there any question?
Okay.
Okay, may I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Consolino? Aye. Trustee Bielko?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders? Aye. And Mayor Pro Tem Pasmino?
Aye.
Trustee Laha,
Oh, and Trustee Laha, I apologize.
Aye.
let the record show the vote is 5-0 to approve ordinance 22-013.
Thank you. E2, consideration for approval of ordinance number 22-014, an ordinance authorizing the hiring of a deputy clerk.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion?
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Bielko?
Aye.
Trustee Consolino? Aye. Trustee Reinders? Aye. Trustee Pasmino?
Aye.
And Trustee Laha?
Aye.
Let the record show the vote is 5-0 to approve that ordinance.
Motion carries. Going to E3, may I have a motion for consideration for approval of resolution 22-005, a resolution initiating the submission of a binding public question concerning the office of village clerk for the Village of Homer Glen, Will County, Illinois, to appear on the ballot of the electors of the Village of Homer Glen at the general election to be held June 28, 2022.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion. I have something that I put together for us. Also, when he asked after I say what I have to say.
Nicole,
Nicole, I'm sorry.
Got it right.
There was no vote yet.
There hasn't been a vote yet.
Discussion. I just want to know if after I'm done reading what I'm going to read, do you guys want me to read aloud the municipal clerk job responsibilities for the Village of Homer Glen? Okay. Okay, so for those that have had a lot to say about today, I'm sorry, Jennifer, I don't mean to. Something happened at Trustee Laha, she disappeared.
Say that again.
Nicole, Trustee Laha says she can't hear anything,
She's not on.
and she's not on, so.
Oh, she's now connecting back. Hang on.
Okay, we'll give it a second.
I would just ask her in there because she can't hear me unless it's in the mic.
Nicole, can you hear us? Nicole?
Do you mind if I should just call her on her cell phone? And we'll put her, she can speak.
You can try to do that, yes.
Here.
Siri, call me. I got it.
Oh.
Nicole, can you hear us at all?
you identify the number that you called her on, please?
I verified the number. Okay, how do I do that? Contact.
Your number.
Oh, my number? All right, I called you on my number is 708-203-6963.
And you called the number for Nicole Laha that is on that telephone?
It's on that number. Her number is area code 708-828-1328.
Okay. Can everybody in the room hear Nicole? She has to
Can
speak.
you hear Nicole? Can you hear that?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just putting up to the microphone.
Okay. Are we in discussion or were we out of our so sorry?
Discussion.
Discussion.
Okay.
Okay. I wanted to address that there appears to be a lot of confusion regarding the ordinance that the board is voting on today. I've been approached by numerous people who claim that we are taking away their right to vote. This rumor is false. The only thing that we are physically doing is voting to put the question of whether or not we should be appointing our village clerk position instead of electing the position. We are leaving this question in the hand of the voters on the June 28th, 2022 ballot. It has come to the attention of this board that the deputy clerk has been doing the job of the collector position as well as some of the duties of the clerk for the past 3 years. Therefore, in an attempt to be fiscally responsible with the ever-increasing inflation, we are looking to appoint responsibilities of the clerk. An elected clerk has no requirement for qualifications. We feel it is more responsible as fiduciaries of the village of Homer Glen to appoint these responsibilities to a qualified village employee. If the majority of our voters feel differently than this board and they want to keep the position of clerk as an elected position, it is their choice to vote as such in the June 28th election. No one, quote unquote, is stealing our residents' ability to vote. I cannot be any more emphatic. We are ensuring and protecting our residents' right to vote by placing this question and referendum on the electoral ballot for them to choose. Our current village clerk's position is up for re-election in April of 2023. She herself has expressed that she will not be running for clerk, but for the mayor for this election. If the referendum passes, it will not affect the current clerk until her term expires in April 2023. I would also like to provide the definition of a referendum for our residents because of this confusion. A referendum is a general vote by the electorate, our residents, on a single political question that has been referred to them for a direct decision. What is the purpose of a referendum? The referendum allows citizens such as yourselves, through the petition process, to refer acts of the legislator to the ballot before they become law. The referendum also permits the legislator itself to refer proposed legislation to the electorate for approval or rejection. Thank you.
Any other?
Do you want me to read the responsibilities of the clerk, you guys?
Do you have anything to discuss, Nick?
No, I'm really glad. I just wanted to make sure that there was clarification about what this is. Obviously not taking away the right to vote, but actually giving the choice to our residents whether or not this is something they'd like to support moving forward.
And the only thing I would really like to add to that is that in the last few elections we've had, the clerk has basically run unopposed. You ran unopposed the last time, didn't you?
Correct.
Right, so basically, I know a lot of people do not like to campaign. They find it very cumbersome, so I think this will just give an opportunity to somebody that would otherwise apply for a job at the village versus having to campaign for one.
And when this comes up for a referendum, this will definitely be a gauge in June as to where the residents stand on this. And from that point forward, we'll take it from there.
Okay, I'm gonna read the Village of Homer Glen's clerk and collector responsibilities, okay? Village licensing, liquor and licenses, May 1st to April 30th, yearly, application fees. Tobacco licenses, May 1st through April 30th, application fees. Video gaming, January 1st through December 31st, application fees. And business registration, January 1st through December 31st, and the application fees. Record management, file and maintain all official village documents and records. File and maintain all legislation, ordinances, resolutions, and proclamations. Prepare, record, and file all village board meeting minutes. File and maintain all deeds, licenses, contracts, agreements, bids, and grants. File and maintain all annexations, disconnections, and vacations. Issue business, liquor, tobacco, and video gaming licenses. Collect all licensing fees. Proper posting of all public meetings. All official correspondence requiring village seal, coordination with village attorneys. Oversee the updates of the village code. Swear in elected officials. Direct the computerization, execution, recording, and archiving of municipal documents. Serve as a notary public. Retain historical documents and records. Voter registration and election services. All the more reason why we believe that this should be an appointed position to a village employee. Participate in the administration of municipal elections. Distribute candidate packets for municipal elections. Coordinate early voting calendar with county clerk. Receive voting equipment and materials from the county clerk's office. File certification of results and candidate placement and ballot with county clerk. Maintain election files. There's a lot of duties and responsibilities. And when you don't enforce that somebody has to either be qualified or that you can't enforce that they're doing this position, then I think there's a lot that we can lose financially on the side of the village. So this is why, as I said, we were trying to be fiduciaries and think of the most responsible way of taking all of these responsibilities and give them to somebody who's fully capable on the end of the village. So, anyone else?
Now we wanted to reiterate, these changes will not take place until the next election for the clerk. So this would not phase the current position, nor the duties, nor the salary, nor anything of the such for the sitting clerk right now. I just want to make that very clear. This is in the next election for the next clerk.
And it doesn't guarantee any changes. It will be up to the voters. And if the voters vote it down, then things will remain the same. If the voters agree that it should be done that way, then that transition period will take place, but not till then.
And this is really not something that's new. If you look around a lot of the other villages in the area, they do have appointed clerks. They do not have elected positions.
Does Nicole have anything?
Nicole, you have anything to say?
No, I think it's really good. I'm so sorry if this is loud right now. But I think it's really great that we're clarifying that this is going to be up to the voter.
Anything else?
But also the community. So I think this is a good thing to get their input to see where they come out.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We had the motion in the second,
I'm so sorry, everybody.
and now it was discussion, and Nicole's done, right? Anybody else?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Bielko,
Aye.
trustee Reinders,
Aye.
trustee Laha,
Aye.
trustee Consolino,
Aye.
and Mayor Pro Tem Pesmino.
Aye.
Let the record show the vote was 5-0. The resolution is adopted. For the clerk, I have a certification that has to be signed, dated, and sealed, and then submitted to it's either to the Board of Election Commissioners or the county. There's 3 copies, so you have to sign it there, date it, and then if you have a seal, put the seal out there.
Sounds good.
Because this is a special meeting, no other business can be conducted at the special meeting, so that a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.